Let's bring in Chelsea Hensbergen. She is an artist here in the local area. Chelsea, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I was on your website earlier. Your artwork is amazing, very big, bold, and colorful.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
How did you get started? And you have a very distinct look. Do you try to stay within that look, or do you sometimes change things up?
You know what? I do know the look that you're talking about. I have a lot of organic patterns and kind of swirls. I think I try to stay true to that look because it feels the most natural to me, but I'm not opposed to branching outside of it, or I like to do things that kind of push me out of my comfort zones.
Working outside on some of the outside murals, I would imagine, brings some of its own challenges. Do you prefer working outside or inside?
I prefer working inside just because you're able to control, temperature. You don't have to worry about sun, rain, and anything happening with your supplies, and you can work any hour of the night. But working outside just it brings more to the piece, I believe, because you're able to be outside in nature and really connect with the mood of the piece.
How'd you get started in doing murals to begin with?
Honestly, this wall behind me was one that I painted in my living room and, post a picture on Facebook. And from that, people just started messaging me. I got this Alice in Wonderland project last September. It was a year from today, actually, that I completed it. And every time I post photos of my work, I'll get one or two more jobs. Everybody just, they tend to like the style that I present, and they want to be a part of it.
See the magic of social media is
Yeah.
and how important has that been for you to keep the work coming? And as you said, you do go into people's homes. Are you did you have to take a break from that for a while?
No, I mean, I've just been producing consistently for the last year now. I'm just entering my second year of creating art professionally. So no breaks, and entering people's homes, just it's fun to be in a different space and really connect with their personality and create something for them specifically.
Chelsea Hensbergen with us. She is an artist, and you're participating in a mural tour in downtown Rochester. Can you tell us a little bit about what that project is, and maybe how you got involved with that?
So I had actually heard about the contest when Monica Drake with Oakland Press wrote an article about it, and she used one of my photos from a previous project to highlight it and spread the word within the community. So I was excited to see my photo in the paper, but also to hear about the contest and a new opportunity. So that's how I heard about it, and I felt that I definitely have to enter now.
Yeah, that's a little bit of pressure for you. For people such as myself, I'm lucky to be able to draw a stick figure. Where does your creativity come from, and how do you approach a new project? Does it grow as you're painting it, or do you have it pretty much mapped out prior to starting?
A little bit of both. I think, first of all, creativity presents itself in so many different forms. But when it comes to creating a piece, I'll think about it for a while, let those ideas kind of fester. And I might do, a quick little 5-minute ballpoint sketch, maybe kind of get a feel for where I want the layout of the piece to be. And then for everything, I'll collect 15 to 20 different photos for inspiration and reference. I don't like to copy one thing exactly, but really pull from different elements. So then once I have a canvas, a wall, a board, whatever I'm painting on, I'll just do a quick little paint outline of where I'd like specific shapes to be. And I really do feel like it comes through as you work on it.
So, with this contest, do you know how many people are actually um, trying to get in on it, and what do you win at the end?
The winner gets a $500 cash prize for a judge's choice contest, and the winner will be announced today, I believe. and there were 14 finalists. So there's 14 different boards competing for the cash prize. I'm not sure how many people entered before that.
Chelsea Hensbergen with us. She is an artist participating in the Mural Tour, Magical Mural Tour in downtown Rochester. You can see those pieces. They'll be available until about September 31st. It's working in conjunction with over 20 restaurants and hosting the Taste of Fall from now until October 19th. So in that contest, are you assigned to a specific business, a specific restaurant, a specific place, or is that a partnership between you and some other person or company in the city?
We submitted our concepts and our designs, and then the 14 boards that are painted right now, those are the ones that were chosen from those concepts. Once we painted the boards, we turned them into the Rochester Downtown Collaboration Studio, and then they put them up around the city. So I didn't choose where my business was, but I'm glad I got the meeting house because it's one of my favorite places downtown.
That makes it easier, right?
Yeah, and easier to remember.
So, so you said that you recently started being an artist professionally full time. What did you do before, and what advice would you give to another person who is looking at maybe breaking away from their 9 to 5 and taking a chance on themselves?
That is exactly what I just did. I was working various 9 to 5 jobs. I'm also a massage therapist. I really kind of follow where my heart leads. And that would be the advice that I'd have to share as well. Everybody's creative in some form. All you have to do is just get started. The first thing you do is going to suck. Every time I paint, always the first layer I'm unhappy with it, or there's some part that I don't like, but you just got to keep going, keep trying, layer the colors, give it a go. Just start.
So how was it for you? You were starting out and then we go into a pandemic. Did you freak out a little bit? Were you worried about how you were going to keep going?
You know what? The pandemic was actually what allowed me to have the time to pursue art. A lot of the jobs that I did were outside during the quarantine period. For the first month or two, I isolated just like everyone else, but then I realized it was an opportunity to pursue those goals and my passion. So during the pandemic, it was really a blessing for me.
Always a silver lining if we take the time to try to find it. Some of your work is public. If people want to see it, where can they find it?
So currently, I do have the piece in the Rochester Mural Tour. That's outside of the Meeting House on Main Street and 3rd. There's a public wall available on Voyage Martial Arts in St. Clair Shores. That is at 12 and Harper. It's a big graffiti wall, so we painted it to be a photo opportunity. If you wanted to take a picture and look like you're pulling the curtain open, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that on your website. It is so cool. We're seeing, it's kind of making the rounds on Facebook, some of those really creative murals that are happening, especially in the inner city with so many of the abandoned buildings and how they're using art to beautify them.
Yes.
I do have to ask, just because I've done so many stories about with the artists and the graffiti in Detroit, I know that your work is commissioned work, but it does kind of have that feeling, some of it, about the graffiti. What is your thoughts on some of the artists that are using the abandoned buildings as their wall of creativity?
I mean, honestly, I think it's a great tool. If nothing's being done with it, why not use it as a canvas? Whenever people are ready to renovate it, then they can keep it, paint over it, as long as you're not causing harm to others or, breaking and entering or, you know, doing anything that you're not supposed to, then why not create where you can?
What is it like to be able to face a wall that's massive? How do you get up high enough to be able to reach some of those spots and to keep it a consistent look?
I haven't had to do anything that required any sort of scaffolding or cranes, anything like that yet. The tallest piece that I've had to work on so far, all I needed was a ladder. So I've been lucky enough I didn't have to figure that out. I know that other artists will use projectors. Um, Sometimes they'll do different grids where they'll take a photo of the wall, put a grid in Photoshop, overlay their image, and then paint a grid on the wall. But for me personally, I kind of freehand everything. I think that's what adds to my signature look is that it's not planned out. It just kind of grows.
What's your favorite piece of art that you've done?
Oh, I would have to say the Alice in Wonderland piece, just because it was the first one that I did professionally. It was really where my style developed. They just wanted something that was inspired by Alice in Wonderland. They had no expectations, no rules to follow. All I had was a theme and then just to roll with it. And I spent so much time and love on it that it feels like my first child in a way.
Chelsea Hensbergen with us. She is an artist joining us today on the Oakland County MegaCast. You'll see some of her murals all around the place, including in downtown Rochester right now. Their Magical Mural Tour continuing until about September 31st. So, Chelsea, when you're going into making these pieces, whether it be you're given a theme or you're not given a theme or you're just given an open canvas and told paint something, what inspires your art?
Definitely themes of nature. I love plants, obviously, and I just I like to layer colors and have a lot of contrast. So I guess the themes of nature itself, when you look at a sunflower, they have a bright yellow exterior and then this dark, seedy center, different textures, different shapes, different colors. I don't really have an umbrella term for it, but I'm just a very visual person. So I guess I like to try and cram as much color and texture as I can.
I have to wonder, how do you, when you're doing outside artwork, is there something that you use to try to protect it from the elements so that it does last longer?
Yes. So I always prime it first with an exterior grade primer. Then I'll go in with the color. Once the color is complete, I seal it with a polyurethane, and that ensures that the color will be protected both from, the sun, UV rays. It'll be protected from rain, snow, the elements, and also it won't yellow over time. So it'll keep those colors looking vibrant and sharp as the day they were presented.
Chelsea Hensberger with us. She's an artist. Earth and Ether is your website, earthandetherart.org. Anything
Yes.
that you want people to know? I mean, what was the biggest lesson you think you've learned during this time, branching out during the pandemic? I know you said it offered you certain opportunities, but what else have you learned about this time and just trying to survive during COVID?
With art itself, it's really taught me the importance of connection. I've always considered myself very introverted and almost hermity. I kind of like to keep to myself, but I've had a couple pieces, the Voyage martial art one included, where people collaborated with me, and working with other people to create something so beautiful and fun and laugh together has just been such a joy. I would love to do more pieces where I can collaborate with people, or like you who said that you can only draw a stick figure, just to show you that you're more artistic and capable than you think.
I know that when the pandemic first started, it came popular to do like those color by numbers or the paint by numbers that we had back when you were like 2 years old.
Yes.
Could something like that really help people get better if they do want to pick up artistic skills?
Absolutely. Anything that you're doing is better than anything you're not. So if it's a paint by number, maybe it's pottery or playing with Sculpey clay or Play-Doh, printing out somebody's picture that you admire and tracing it just to kind of get a feel for the lines and the style. Really, anything that you try is going to be better than not trying at all.
So, do you have one person in your life that was an inspiration for you that helped you along your path?
In my life, I'm very fortunate to have a good support network of my friends and family always pushing me and they were telling me I'm talented, I can do it, all these things that I'm telling other people now. They would always encourage me to pursue those passions. As far as an inspiration, I would say Van Gogh. We both struggle with bipolar disorder, different times, of course. So he had less resources, less knowledge about, the things that plagued his mind, but he was able to express himself in that creative form. So I'm very inspired by his work and how he's able to pull those emotions and turn them into something beautiful.
That's a great story, just to remind people that we all have struggles, but to find those struggles to help lead you in your inspiration. I found myself recently, an old Bob Ross episode came across the air the other day. He was amazing how he could, like, oh, let's just paint a little tree here or there.
Yes.
It was
So therapeutic.
yeah, and watching someone like him, it makes it look so easy, but it's not easy.
I mean, yeah, yes and no. I agree and I disagree. It's not easy when you look at the finished piece because then you think, oh, I couldn't possibly create that. I don't even know where to start. But like Bob Ross, he breaks it down to step by step. When you're so close to a piece, like when I'm working on a mural and I'm working on these details and I'm like, oh man, this sucks. It doesn't look like anything. But then you step away, it looks a lot better than you think. So I do think it's easier than you think.
One of his quotes, we don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents.
Yes.
So just a couple more minutes here with you. Anything that you want people to know? Any advice or anything even just about how to get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me at my website, which is earthandetherart.org. I also have a Facebook page. My personal Facebook is Chelsea Hensbergen. Feel free to add me there as well. In terms of what I'd like people to know, I would love to get involved with more public collaborations or paint something large scale that requires scaffolding or a projector on a side of a building. But really, I would love to just get involved with more projects. So any ideas that you have, send them my way.
Would you be open to working with other artists as well?
100%. Mm-hmm.
Chelsea with us here on the Oakland County Megacast. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Monday, this last day of summer, to be with us on the Oakland County Megacast, and we invite everyone to check out your work. You are very talented. It's very beautiful, bright, eye-catching artwork. Best of luck with you in the future.
Thank you so much for the compliments and for having me on the show.